Gentlemen, and welcome back to the WGLNA Season 1 Gold League. I'm your host, Christian Toma. To my left, the one, the only, David Williams. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube /WGLNA. As always, if you're not watching this on BattleViewer.com, guys, it's always better on BattleViewer.com, so check that one out. Also, follow us on Twitter @WGLNA so you guys can stay up to date with what's happening in the community around you. One of the things that's happening in the community is that it's Badco's birthday, if you guys did not know. So everyone, spam B for birthday to Badco. Make his job as moderator. Make him feel appreciated and loved. He's a fantastic guy. We thank you for all that you do. Oh, man, that was just...
Badco just starts timing them all out for spam.
He's like, any B is going to be done. No, he won't do that. He loves you guys.
While you're there on Twitter, you can check out the question of the day, which is, which side do you think is stronger on Himmelsdorf? Both of us answered defense.
Yep.
For statistical reasons, it's relatively equal right now. However, nobody's playing Himmelsdorf today.
We haven't seen it today.
So, well,
you know what?
I
have a good feeling that we're going to see this next battle, ladies and gentlemen, which is going to be #RU versus High Voltage. We've got DeKillzor on the line for High Voltage. Let's introduce him to the... Oh, man, look it. Hey, DeKillzor, we've got some sweet hats on, man. I finally feel like I can talk to you.
I mean, your hat's okay, but doesn't really compare to this.
Hey, you're absolutely right. I'm not going to try to take that glory away from you, sir. I'm going to start out with a question. How about that? Now, something you guys, I would love to know. You do not please reveal any secrets if you have them, but I want to know, what does an average day look like for you guys in practice? What's an average kind of practice match look like?
Oh, we try to be a top WGLNA team, so we usually start our day off by playing some random battles, and we only quit random battles once we hit about 4,000 WN8. We need to represent ourselves well to the community, you know. And then when that's done, we go for the real training. That's like an hour of unranked team battles. We don't want to stress ourselves too much, you know. We just play unranked team battles against the top of NA for an hour. And then we finish off by watching EU and be like, Jesus, these guys do complicated stuff. Let's just stick to what we're doing. It's way better.
I love that. That's a great workout.
Before the match, we go like, I have the least fantasy points of us all, so Heavy, if you could do more damage than me today, I'll just miss a few shots, so like bounce. Yeah. And like you could see last time against Simp, I was screaming on TeamSpeak, shield me, and they're like, no, screw your fantasy points.
Right, yeah, they don't want you to get up anyway. It's fascinating to see the dynamic between these teams.
Hey, well, I mean, if that's how you guys are going to work it out, if you give me a little bit of a heads up, I'll double down.
He would love it.
On Heavy 20 instead of you. You know, every time you wear that scarf, it takes me a minute to realize it's a scarf, and I feel like it would be awesome if you had like somehow sewn it into a little bit of a vest, like a cowboy vest. Like your whole WGLNA cowboy getup. Like you got chaps on that say WGLNA.
Do you have?
Don't show us.
Never mind. We don't want to know.
God, don't show us.
Do we? No, we don't.
So, second question for you: how exactly does your calling breakdown work? Who does what? Are you like the other teams? Or do you just sort of wing it and everybody talks to each other?
Well, everybody has input, but it's mostly me and Wally. There's like a few maps, which I'm not going to say which ones, obviously, that I'm the caller for, and then there's a few maps where Wally is the caller for, or we just switch it up in between. We tend to both make tactics, and if I feel like this is something we need to do, I'll say we need to do this. And it just depends. It's mostly me and Wally. A lot of people obviously have input, but sometimes I have a very specific strategy with very set motions. Like if this happens, you will do this, and then there's not much of what should we do. They already know what to do, and they just go with the plan.
Awesome. Oh, well, it sounds like a fantastic plan indeed. DeKillzor, thank you so much for all your insight on these questions. Thank you for being so open with us. One thing I would do have questions since you don't have an opponent to talk to. If you could say something to Badco for his birthday, what would your birthday wishes be?
Happy birthday, Badco. Badco, today I'm going to get you all the fantasy points.
Oh, look at that. Nagatron's not quite happy, but it's okay.
I have him on my team too. What do I care?
Oh,
go ahead and farm the points.
Well, there you go.
Nagatron doesn't believe in me. I remember Nagatron complaining about me the other time that I didn't have enough damage.
I beat my fantasy, man. It's still on my team. You haven't gotten relegated yet. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Shedding those crocodiles.
Oh, man. Gentlemen. Anyway, DeKillzor, thank you so much for going and joining us. Best of luck in the battle. We'll see you very shortly.
Thank you.
I think that was the longest face-off we've had today.
And we only had one person. Oh, it's fine. It was great. He made it worth it. Something I kind of want to point out, one of the things you said is how I like how that's something I haven't heard actually. They have specific callers for specific maps. Is that something you come across pretty recently?
Pretty often. We've tried everything under the sun at some point in time, and that is kind of how it worked sometimes. There's pros and cons to it, but one of the biggest advantages, if nobody's really saddled with the overall responsibility of always being the caller, it prevents a lot of these weird psychological things from happening. Okay. And it also relieves the pressure on somebody where they don't have to be the guy who does it all.
Sure.
And both of those are very important things. So if they're getting it done that way, keep doing it. No need to change.
Absolutely.
Something along that lines. Honestly, it sounds great.
It's working well for them so far. Let's take a look at actually the breakdown of both of these teams. #RU versus High Voltage. David, highlight some of the players for me.
Yes. So for #RU, everybody's relatively spread. Their penetration rates are a little bit weak, but they do a lot of firing, a lot of blind firing, a lot of snapshotting. So that's not completely unreasonable. What's interesting for High Voltage is there's a clear combo that has arisen in the statistics, and we see it as well. The Killzor, he hits all of his shots for the most part. He penetrates a lot, so that's not part of the combo. There's an interesting wombo combo, if you will. The Heavy 20 Blue Boys, which has been around for as long as those two have been playing together.
The Heavy 20 Blue Boys.
Oh, Heavy tends to do a lot of the tracking and a lot of damage. Blue Boys tends to do a lot of the movement, a lot of the scouting. Surprise!
Great combo.
That fits their roles that we've known them for the entire time, and together they form sort of a nucleus of the team in which everything else is built around.
Okay.
And it allows people like Daki to drive around and get a lot of snapshots and to do a lot of not snapshots, a lot of penetrating shots from distance.
Great. Well, let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. We're into our fourth and final battle of the night. #RU versus High Voltage. Two Titans going up against it into mines. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Well, let's see if #RU is worth being called a Titan today. IS-3, 5 T-54 lightweights and a T-37. Ouch. High Voltage with a 110, 5 T-54 lightweights and a T-37. I'm allowed to bully them.
That's true.
Bully them.
#RU, I called you a Titan. David did not, for the record. It is on live, but looks like we're going to have a heal play going out now for both the sides. A lot of T-54 lightweights. Actually, all of them. High Voltage coming from the side. Blue is Captain taking a shot to the ground. More damage now coming on the side of #RU. Then on High Voltage, the HP now going even further for the side of #RU. High Voltage is hitting their shots. Their Heavy 20 getting penetrated down to below half health, 517 now. But over on the side of #RU, both Young Money, Cash Money, and Master Poot getting dropped low. And their T-54 lightweights. Hail play coming out strong for both the teams. But interesting enough, Eclipse now coming around the side. Let's see how much he can do for this flank to kill Zor and Wallhacks, taking some more damage. And if High Voltage continue to keep this up, they're going to be whittled down lower and lower. And no response has come up from the side. Angry Guy now fighting against Eclipse. A 1v1, two T-37s going to get it. Let's see who comes on top. This could be a huge deciding factor for the game. Eclipse down 4 against Angry White Guy. 242 damage, 357 coming out. Teammate Angry Guy going extremely low. One more shot from Eclipse. He'll take him down. Let's see, he does just in time. Angry Guy almost had the shot, but Eclipse coming out on top here. Wallhacks, look, he's coming down to respond to this as Eclipse, knowing that he should have some followers soon. Gonna start running in the T-37 and not gonna make it far. Wallhacks with the quick cleanup. And now 1-for-1 tanks going down for both sides. But #RU, actually the health extremely even here. And looks like we got two balanced teams going on a very balanced fight, on a very balanced hill, Dave.
Biggest advantage I see right now, High Voltage is Ox Mathis still at full health in his 110. Never mind.
Why did you say that,
well,
David?
He's in a position. That has nothing to do with me. He's in a position trying to get some work done.
Gotcha.
Trying to bully the people that he can. He's got one of the better layouts, armor configurations on his tank for this overall engagement. High Voltage is not going to make any big play until they get some sort of advantage. You should arguably stop poking on Ox Mathis because this could turn around on him. Right now, they're still at a slight hit point disparity, or disadvantage. But they don't have to go anywhere, and they can keep tabs on #RU, and #RU is the team that needs to show.
That is absolutely essential. Again, there for the offensive team, they cannot just sit and wait. Heavy 20 now moving away back, going down to like that K6 area, and Master Poot, that T-54 getting dropped extremely low behind that rock there. I believe that was Ox Mathis who picked up another shot. And Young Money, Cash Money also very low himself. But this looks like it's going to be the push that #RU is going to try to find the overmatch. Going over the top, Blue Boys Captain is going to be their focus. But to Killzor, going to respond. Valera Desolator going down. Game is rigged now, making it top of the hill, but not free as he goes down to extreme low health. 1/4 now, one more shot, he'll go down. Young Money Cash Money picking up a kill. Ant Pro in a lot of danger there. One more shot around the rocks. Wall hacks, Big Amp Godzilla mode. A beautiful pickup there. And hashtag you with only 366 HP across 4 tanks. Just showing you that each and every one is one shot. Let's see if High Woltage can clean this one up. Oxmathis fighting abrasive there. Now it is a 4-on-3. Master Boom going down to heavy 20 there. Now it is a 4-on-2. Let's see, High Woltage looks like they should just be able to push over Oxmathis. Wall hacks very healthy. Taking a shot on Gaming's Rig. One shot missing. Oxmathis lining up the shot. Gaming's Rig ducking back behind the corner of Mines. Let's see if he can do any damage before he goes down, because Oxmathis tanks actually turn to Young Money Cash Money. Come around the corner, picks that one up. It is just Gaming's Rig left. Hashtag you should be going down, and High Woltage picking up their first victory. On to defense here in our 4th and final match of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. And David, kind of explain to me what you saw there. The interesting thing for me was that T-37 fight down at the beginning, the flank coming around the corner. Hashtag you actually coming out on top there, but very quickly Wall hacks picked it up deep and it back out. And then it just became kind of a stalemate stalemate hill push with both the teams. But like you said, defense not having to do nothing there.
So what ends up happening, and actually let's cover this after we go to stats.
Okay,
because this is another match that I think people definitely bet
sure
a number of overpicks on, probably.
I definitely did.
The Young Money Cash Money leading the team with 2,000. To Killzor leading his team with roughly 2,000. And what you can see the biggest difference here is as you go down the list, more people sharing the overall amount of damage across High Voltage's side. Now, that's a natural occurrence. They obviously did more damage, so there's more to share, but it's not like 2 of these guys just stacked up 2,000.
Sure.
And it spread out here, which it's not really necessarily what happened with Hashtag U either, but Hashtag U got pushed into a position that they really didn't want to be in. So they pushed the middle right off the bat, and unless they really capitalize on an early pick, it's all of a sudden a bad fight for them, because they are the ones that have to leave. They're the ones that have to go somewhere. And they understood something clearly, that leaving was going to lose. Pushing was probably going to lose. They chose to do the one that debatably had the better chance of winning.
Okay.
If they had ran, they likely would have been shot by the 54s. Getting out of those positions not particularly easy, and they would have had to have left at least one tank stranded from the positions they were in, unless they did some very crazy spreading out and hugging
sacrificing
terrain.
Another tank.
But once they give High Voltage the hill like that, it's GG. So they figured, well, let's hope High Voltage makes a mistake. Let's go for it and see what happens. And I think their vector was a little bit weird. They took a whole lot of damage doing that initial push.
Yeah.
And High Voltage had already taken the time to drop Heavy 20 back into a sniping position to guarantee and make sure that even if there was an overmatch, even if the team did pull over, Heavy 20 could just continuously shoot them and it would be easy. That's a very good example of what we were talking about last broadcast, where he's saying that the next stage of meta is going to start getting into small terrain advantage positions.
That was one of them.
And High Voltage is demonstrating that they know them, and they're starting to take advantage of them, and that's what gave them the win on that match.
All right, we'll see if they can continue to push this victory, ladies and gentlemen. We're into our next battle. Same side. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Hashtag U with 2 IS-3s, 4 T-54 lightweights, and a T-37. Meanwhile, High Voltage with 4 IS-3s, T-54 lightweight, and 2 LTTBs.
Okay.
So, as we discussed earlier, on defense, it's statistically more likely to win with either 1 or 4 IS-3s as opposed to 2.
Right. So looking at the side over here, we're going to go ahead and start. It looks like the 2 IS-3s, we haven't really covered that as much. What's the rule on that, bringing the 2 IS-3s on offense?
You know, on offense, I didn't get a very good look at it. This was on defense, on Mines in particular, and it's not everything.
Okay.
It's just an amusing fact that shows up in statistics.
Gotcha. 4
IS-3s for High Voltage pushing here to the middle. The rest of the team spread out in a very interesting way. Looks like Killzor's position is specifically designed to fire on the top of the hill. He's climbing the hill very effectively.
Wow.
Must have gotten a boost.
What an angle.
You know, strangely, sometimes backing up things actually gives you a little bit more of a better grip on the hill that you're trying to climb.
Okay.
I think it has to do with tank, like the way the weight is spread out.
Okay.
Where the alignment of the tank itself is, but you know, I don't know for certain. All I know is some areas backing up is easier.
Okay, he's done.
Yeah, nobody's on hill, so the shots he was trying to get were worthless.
Gotcha.
So we left.
Now that is actually a position I haven't seen. Have you seen that position before out of this season?
Not this season, but I've seen people use those hills in the past.
So that was very interesting. I can't wait to see if that does work out later on when there is a hill fight to be had. But right now, #U decided to give High Woltage the hill onto defense. Game is rigged, starting to put that a pressure on in his IS-3 down there for the Western Cap. Eclipse still back in the base. Master Putin and Godzilla Mode have pushed all the way through down to that K1 line, which we see so often teams do to get some good control there. Now Blue Boys captain running around, and David having to kill Zor here, along with it looks like Ant running those 2 LTTBs. If they find Eclipse here, which they might, or they probably will, I mean, then #RU should be worried about this massive flame that'll be coming down from the north.
They could find him, sure, but if they get lit, they can definitely get lit up by Abrasive and Young Money in those positions. Actually, they can die from a number of positions.
Gotcha.
Kind of a lazy check, honestly, getting shot from behind. You can't just drive past that if you don't know for certain there's nothing there. You always have to check it, at least a proxy light, and it's going to be very difficult for them to get up there and get Eclipse down now, considering that #U knows where they are. #U taking advantage of it, pivoting around the south. Now is the time to get him. Blue Boys coming in to clean that up. Blue Boys rotating out of the south earlier after recognizing that a lot of the team was there and they were easily overmatched. Now we've essentially swapped positions.
That's right.
And #U will try and take the hill from the south side. Maybe not all the way to the top of the hill, but they're going to try and take the midline of the hill at least. And that could give them some tactical advantage.
Okay.
Realistically,
Game is rigged, taking about 499 points of damage in his IS-3. And now we have the kill Zor and Ampro continuing their battle buddy flanks, moving onto the lighthouse. Like blowing up a car over there or something. Not sure what that was, but Young Money Cash Money in his TP4 doing a little bit of repositioning. Abrasive and Godzilla Mode falling way back. Abrasive in that K5 line, Godzilla Mode over there in J6. They're just kind of setting up and waiting. Now, looking at the swap, does a swap like this favor defense or offense? Assuming all the tanks are or somehow made it out alive.
Well, you know, on this map, it favors the defense because now they're on the offensive side, which is typically the better side, honestly.
Okay.
And I doubt #U has come up with any sort of attack from the south.
Being on the side of
so,
the That's
so
a
yeah,
good point.
I mean, all you have to
great
do is
point.
not let them cap from the north. They have higher hit points. The positions in the north can be better. But really right now, I think #U is doing one of the better options they have. It's actually probably would have been better to go through the east side and try and do the same flank that we saw High Voltage do to Simp last broadcast. They came around the east side and pinchered him from the middle, from the 4 line and from the CD lines all at the same time. But right now, High Voltage doesn't really need to do anything. They've got the eyes out to make sure nothing can flank them either way. #U may very well give a solid overmatch. Nope, never mind. They're positioning their IS-3 so that they're not easily picked up. They're just going to take damage as they move everywhere. As High Voltage is clearly demonstrating that they have those positional advantages, and they have that positional play on lock. Heavy 20 getting contact with Young Money pretty easily through that gap.
Yeah.
And I think that's just going to continue here.
This is this is the story for the next couple minutes here as High Voltage, David, like you're talking about, is having superior positions, also having a tank up against #U, and over 2,000, actually just about 2,000 to be up onto the offensive side. And now, if you are #U, obviously we were talking about that, the Easter cap, the 1 cap not being a good advantage, or a really good cap to take ever. Would you give this position a fighting chance at it, or is going for the West when they're doing just much better?
Going to the west is much better, and their exact formation is pretty good, actually. It's one of the more effective ways of capping. I mean, this is essentially what teams end up on from the north side when they attack, a lot of the time, right? Like, they get that island, they get the cap area, but it's not a place that High Voltage is probably unfamiliar with defense from. They got the reset they need. And another one.
Getting resets. Man, this is great. Going out for the side of High Voltage. Blue is captain. Also coming around the side. Ampro getting dropped pretty low in that LTV, but now game is rigged. He's in a lot of trouble as Wall Hacks and Anfield come around the corner. Looks like they just want to finish this thing up quickly. Alex Mathis actually picking it up on top of the IS-3. Anfield going to find Young Money, Cash Money. Master Putin, though, responding by trying to take the kill Zors down, but it is just 4 tanks remaining for the side of #U. Godzilla Mode up here on the Lighthouse. Valera still taking damage from Ampro, but Master Putin trying to put an end to that. Going around, finding Ant. Heavy 20, though, getting a nice damage going down the hill, but finding Valera Desolator as he does. 50 seconds remain on the clock. Cap pressure is no longer. While Hacks does find Abrasive, and now it is just 2 members from the side of #U. High Voltage should have this one in the bag. Crisp and clean. Clear as a crystal. Blue Boys cap still staying up top in the TP4. Master Putin running up top. Looks like he's trying to find maybe a mines. I'm not sure why. Not sure what he's doing. Obviously, he can't do much here in the situation. 30 seconds remain. High Voltage literally just need to stay alive here, but it looks like they want to find some kills as well. Woltage taking some shots at Master Putin. Master Putin taking some in response. Godzilla mode, 360 points of damage in that T-54. Anfield aiming his shots. Heavy 20, pushing in even closer. A shot going out. Nothing connecting onto that IS-3. It's ready. It's locked. It's loaded. It's done. Godzilla mode going down. And now just Master Putin. High Voltage going to extend that lead. Now 2-0 as the timer runs out here. Going into our fourth and final match of the night. Now that was interesting to watch for a moment. I mean, we have that switch to the sides, both the teams going on, and I like what you said. Obviously, it would favor defense there because attack probably doesn't run options where we get switched like because we very rarely see that happen.
Yeah, they did probably the best answer.
Okay,
actually, now I think about it, maybe going around the east side like we said would have been more guaranteed. Well, maybe not more guaranteed. It would have been a more aggressive move. They would have forced a fight from positions that can be difficult to fight from.
Yeah.
But what they did was much more even-handed, much more balanced. Nothing really to cover in stats.
Okay.
I'll just list off the people who took the top.
Great.
So Godzilla mode and abrasive for #RU. And for
Killing
high
it.
voltage, Oxmathis, Blue Boys, Heavy 20 to Killzor in that order. All broke 1,000. Everybody
Yeah.
else below that. Oxmathis taking up 1541. So he's generally a great player.
Doing
Honestly,
so
his
good.
numbers, even with playing in Artie, were very good.
Yeah.
Going through everything. I always like a player that focuses on track shots, as we discussed before. I think they're huge, and I think a number of players just don't
practice that enough.
don't think about it.
Okay, now and speaking maybe to players who they will notice the importance of tracking a tank. Obviously, you're stopping them in the tracks, which allows you to take more and more shots. I think you've explained a little bit how when you track a tank, you can actually just wait for them to repair and just keep tracking them instantly, allowing your team to collapse down upon you. Is that the best case scenario for someone who's tracking to go for, or is it just track them and then do more damage to them?
I mean, if you're a 5100 and you get that first track,
Just keep tracking.
then well, it's tricky because some people will fix so fast that it's hard to get the second shot and retrack them, and other people fix so slowly for
You're
one
not
reason
sure.
or another.
Okay.
Either they just missed it or on purpose.
Okay.
That
Genius.
you get in the second shot expecting them because you have to get it perfectly. If their track is barely sticking out on a corner,
Right.
unless you shoot them the instant they repair it, they'll probably get away. Or
Tricky
you'll track them
stuff.
again, but they won't be in a position to do damage. Like you just cut the front of it, but the rest of their tanks around it.
Well, high risk, high reward there coming up for those 5100s. Ladies and gentlemen, #RU down 0-2 now against High Voltage as we're into our next battle. We've switched sides. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
So for #RU, 6 T-54 lightweights and a T-37. For
Wow.
High Voltage, a 110, 5 T-54 lightweights and the M44.
I'm expecting to see some hill play.
Ox boys.
Here we go, the M44 Ox Mathis. Look at that artillery, beautiful and camoed as always. Blue Boys Captain actually going to be the one not heading to the hill, but the rest of the members are looking for the side of #RU. It looks like it's going to be Eclipse, kind of mimicking the same thing, the only one not going to the hill, but the rest of #RU is. So now, we have 5 members of High Voltage on top of the hill versus the 6 of #RU. Young Money, Cash Money coming across. 909 points of damage. He gets tracked. A couple more shots. One more maybe would have done it, but that was a beautiful amount of focus fire there coming out for High Voltage. Definitely punishing that T-54 lightweight for trying to take that hill. And the question is to see, now that #RU is up there, what can they do? Ox Mathis, I love to hear that sound when he's on that artillery. Take some shots over onto Putin. Nothing connecting. Anfield taking a good amount of damage as well. Abrasive popping out, trying some shots, taking about 500 points of damage himself. High Voltage doing a great job focusing on the tanks they need to as they try to get some exchanges there between both the sides. Abrasive in that T-54 lightweight as well. Ox Mathis, another shot coming out. Game is rigged. Taking 657 points of damage. A beautiful chunk there coming out for that artillery. Anfield focusing that off. And #RU, only a couple minutes, actually over a minute into the game, already down a considerable amount of HP. Eclipse and that T-37 running across, being spotted out. Heavy 20 taking a good amount of damage. 482 going through as well. A couple more shots in that T-37. He'll go down as well. And just seems like #RU just can't get a break. Another artillery shot going out there. Looks like it connected onto Putin. 695 points of damage there in that T-54 lightweight. And the more #RU sits here, the lower and lower they get. High Voltage are in the driver's seat of this match. Anfield, the first one to get low onto the side of High Voltage. 1,000 points of damage, now taking damage from the T-37 in the back. Blue Boys Captain actually going to pick up Eclipse. Now when artillery is out, Wolhax is going to find Putin. 5 tanks down. Let's see what Ox Mathis can do here to help his team come back as High Voltage, actually come back, I'm sorry, they're in the lead. Clearly, 1,500 points of damage onto #RU. Anfield finding Valera Desolator. This is just a clean sweep for High Voltage coming out. A fantastic move right off the bat. Wall hacks, picking up Game was rigged. It is just Young Money. Abrasive, left for the side of #RU. Here comes High Voltage to clean this one up. And David, I mean, where did that go wrong for #RU?
They got tag bar artillery twice, very viciously.
1,200
Just
points of
their
damage there.
overall positional play wasn't as good as High Voltage's. I noticed right off the bat, High Voltage's positions were stellar.
Wow.
And they didn't give up that that many windows. Just great play.
There we go. High Voltage is now up 3-0 against #RU. I was confused there because all night the red team was the one winning. So I was like, oh, hey, blue's getting kills. The enemy's winning. Nope, it's High Voltage. We've just switched sides, and they're doing a fantastic job. Might even continue the trend of going 4-0 on the first map of our first matches up tonight. But David, talking about that kind of, like you said, just too many shots from that artillery coming out there. What else happened? Was that just the main thing for them?
Yeah,
because I mean, Young Money coming out of the top.
We'll go to stats and I'll show you exactly what happened.
Let's do it. Let's
Maktab Putin. Well, I feel bad trolling you right now. Master Putin. 2 zeros coming out for Game is Rigged, and Putin just getting annihilated. Ox Mathis. 4 shots, 2 hits, 2 penetrations for 1282. Anfield playing. This is one of the biggest things I noticed last time they played. Is the 110 struggled to get the right angles and the right intro to the fight when they were playing Simp. And from here, Anfield doing a much better job. 2,000 overall. The rest of the team spreading out the damage. Man. Young Money, Cash Money, Abrasive again, leading their team. And really just better positioning, better play coming out of High Voltage there.
And quicker damage as well. Also another thing to point out, we said the main theme of Mines at the Hill is if you either let your teammate, either you're going to fight for it and don't lose it, or you punish your team for doing that. And Young Money, Cash Money almost died taking that. So that was a fantastic amount of punishment going out there from High Voltage. Another thing that was fun to watch too is once they, I think it was Abrasive and Young Money on top of the hill. Abrasive trying to poke out and take some shots, but High Voltage was ready and waiting for them. If you are the side over there against going High Voltage, you got on top of the tank, but there's so many members. Is it wise for Abrasive to pop out and take that shot like he did, or is that also very risky because he took so much of a response for that?
There are better ways of doing it.
Okay, well that's simply said. Let's end it there. That was a fantastic way to sum up that question. Ladies and gentlemen, to our fourth battle, High Voltage versus #RU. Let's see if High Voltage can continue the trend. Winning one more will take them 4-0 going into our next map. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
For #RU, 2 IS-3s, 4 T-54 lightweights, a T-37. For High Voltage, 2 IS-3s, 4 T-54 lightweights, and an M44.
So similar lineups as before. Actually, like a lot heavier for the side of High Voltage down, taking 2 IS-3s in place. David, again, we've talked about the offense taking 1 or 4. We haven't quite seen 2. It'll be interesting to see how High Voltage can kind of take this one out. #RU decided to not go for the hill at all. Obviously, High Voltage doing a good job scaring them out there. Now, if you are #RU, what is maybe not as an aggressive slash, a very efficient way of taking like a hill and making sure, we've got the victory once we take this. What's a better way of, if you were #RU, to kind of sit back, be a little more methodical, and play it slow? Because obviously High Voltage is doing a great job taking the victories when they have them.
Oh, you really just can't. High Voltage is going to manhandle you on this map if you don't fight here. You have to win this fight or it's over. That's really it. This is essentially the final meta of this map until somebody comes up with something that I've never seen or heard of before.
All right, well, here we go. Wall hack down, being one that takes a lot of damage from #RU. He does have the escape of backing out the hill. Let's see if he takes it. Going down, taking 712 points of damage there in that IS-3. No one's going to chase him, and wisely so. Ampro now being the one in the focusing Godzilla mode for the side of #RU. 486 points of damage. A shot going out from Ox Mathis. Looks like that was a 766 onto Valera Desolator in that IS-3. One more shot, he'll go down, but Anfield looks like he's going to go down first. Over 1,100 points of damage. Young Money, Cash Money finding the first tank of this battle for High Voltage going down. Let's see if #RU can continue this victory as they have a small overmatch, but their health is dwindling. Master Putin pushing on that T-54 lightweight. Another shot coming out from Ox Mathis. Let's see if it connected. I'm not sure. I didn't get to see. I think it was on a Young Money, Cash Money as he's dropping down to 12 points of health. Abrasive now finding Heavy 20. Let's see if they can continue going, because a lot of members on #RU are extremely slow. Young Money Cash Money against Blue Boys Captain, and a good amount of proxy spotting there. A clip #RU in that T37 going top, but the hill play is still strong, and it's still coming out. Wall hacks, taking Valero Desolator down, making a 5-on-5 with Blue Boys Captain fighting abrasive. High Voltage coming back, showing that this hill is theirs. Godzilla will be the focus. Wall hacks taking him down. Young Money doing a good amount of damage, but once he is focused, he should go down as well. Another shot going from Mathis, nothing connecting. Game is rigged for #RU, taking High Voltage, and it is an absolute bloodbath on top of this hill. Tanks falling down left and right, and Pro finding game is rigged. 4 tanks stand for High Voltage, just 3 for #RU, and it seems as if finally we have some sort of a breather. But as I speak, Blue Boys Captain is going to go ahead and pick up Master Putin, making it just Young Money Cash Money, and Eclipse for the side. Blue Boys finding Eclipse. I'm hoping Mathis gets this kill. I'm praying Mathis gets this kill. No, he doesn't. Just gonna miss it. But again, #RU, 1 member, 12 points of HP left. High Voltage should be able to pick this one up as well. The trend continues, David.
Pretty much. #RU getting served on mines. Honestly, everybody playing High Voltage lately
Getting served.
on,
There it is.
on mines by High Voltage, with Simp coming out on top the most of late. But
other teams, man, High Voltage showing their complete and utter just determination and lockdown of mines. If you're other teams, why wouldn't you ban this away from them? Are you just scared that
I would.
You would.
Immediately.
Listen,
if you haven't gotten it together
ban
now.
mines from High Voltage. Just do it.
At this point, I'm starting to wonder if they've got even additional stuff. I'm calling this the final meta. I'm starting to wonder if they've got something else. If they're showing it this early, I don't know.
True.
I'd ban
That's
it.
true.
I'd ban it.
They're going to have some sweet Eastern push that we've never seen before.
Go to stats again. There's really not a whole lot more to talk about other than the obvious. Outpositioned, outplayed.
Yeah.
Young Money, Cash Money. Putin putting up the most damage for their team. Game is rigged. Godzilla mode. Following up a good bit, but not getting it done overall. Ox Mathis, 7 shots, 4 hits, 2 penetrations, 15-19. Wow.
That guy.
Right?
That guy.
Some high rolls. Ant Pro, 1476. Everybody else besides Wally putting up numbers, but Wally getting up 2 cleanup kills and just generally kind of playing his eyes through the way he needs to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, still good. Everybody, pretty much everybody on High Voltage in that match had good numbers.
Yeah, just looking at just kind of, like you were saying, more spread on the side of teams who were just, a strategy gone right, having the damage on every single teammate. David, looks like, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get your Himmelsdorf play, as the next map we will be playing is going to be Lakeville. So Lakeville will once again be the determining map here against these 2 final teams. Now, based on the past, historically, let's say it was tied up right now. Who would you give the edge to onto Lakeville? If it were tied up.
Tied up right now, I'd still give High Voltage the edge.
Okay.
Out of every team we've seen play Lakeville, High Voltage still has the best Lakeville defense I've seen to date.
All right. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here from David Williams himself. Ladies and gentlemen, we're into our next battle, or maybe our final battle here on our 4th match of the night. #RU versus High Voltage. High Voltage just needing 1 more. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
#RU with 3 IS-3s, 2 T-54 lightweights, and 2 LTTBs. High Voltage with 3 IS-3s, a T-32 with the AMX 1390, T-54 lightweight, and an FE-304. I mean, if you read that at face value, then the FE-304 indicates that they'll probably be going into the Northwest. They don't have to.
They being?
We've seen, High Voltage.
Okay.
They don't have to. But, actually, no, hold on. If it were an M44, it would clearly indicate that. The FE-304 could certainly mean they're going into the city, as it's going to hiring.
Gotcha. Over here now, Ox Mathis and the kills are moving into the north. Blue Boys Captain taking the shorter route by kind of heading over to the side of the lake. Ox Mathis getting a nice little positioning here. Now, normally we kind of see him back here getting those nice shots into the city. Is he doing this because of the way the roads are positioned? Is just better shots into the angles that #RU would be pressing them for?
You're talking about Blue Boys' position?
Ox Mathis.
Ox Mathis' position.
Artillery.
Yeah, wherever he's going is probably very specifically about angles to get shots into those roads.
Okay.
If you look on the map, there's 2 to 3 that he can really shoot down fairly well.
Oh,
this is really interesting. Blue Boy's getting pushed by 2 LTTBs, but High Voltage is there to make sure that nobody can really get to him. #RU missing their shots on Blue Boys. Blue Boy's going to run away. And High Woltage not really getting any conversions onto Godzilla mode, but he is relatively stuck where he is as long as anybody has any sort of vision into that area.
And more shots coming out from the side of #U. Nothing hitting his captain. That would have been a beautiful pick up there, giving them very decisive control over that center lane, that 4 road. And now, like you said, the flank coming around. Master Putin and Abrasive going to find Blue Boy's captain. He's got to be trouble. He's got to find some cover quickly, or he will go down. That 1390, not too much health. There's the shots going out. 1 shot going in, 244 going through. Oxmath is taking artillery shot, just going behind the enemy team. But Blue Boy's captain looks like he's going to get out there just in time. More shots coming from all over, dodging left and right. This man, ladies and gentlemen, is living in the Matrix. Another shot. They just can't hit this guy. This 1390 being extremely slippery, doing the dance, putting his dancing shoes on. The question is, how will High Woltage respond to this as #RU is in, obviously, they're just trying to find Blue Boy's captain right now, very distracted. Well, it looks like they're going to start pushing for the city. And Blue Boy's captain getting out of there with just a scratch on him. Fantastic dancing done from that 1390.
Like Kevin Bacon.
He's Kevin Bacon up in here.
We got a push coming down the 0 line with High Woltage.
Let's see here, going through the city. Oxmath is heavy 20. Ant, along with, looks like Wall Hacks and the Killzone. A lot of pressure going on. The question is #RU ready and willing and responsive to what's happening as Eclipse and Valera and Young Money and their IS-3s just line the lake bed there. Something I actually haven't really seen from defense too much. I guess when High Woltage has given them the north, they can kind of have better rain over there. But now the shots going out. Gamers taking a shot there. No one actually spotted. Only Young Money, Cash Money in his IS-3 is spotted now. Wallhack spawning with that shot getting spotted. Young Money getting focused. 594 points of damage. Oxmath is repositioning there with the rest of his team. Make sure he is out of harm's way. Shots going back in. It looks like, David, we're going to have another switch here. Young Money, Cash Money getting a shot in. Not sure if that bounced or if it just barely missed there. Luckily there for that IS-3 not taking any damage. But again, look, it seems that we have a swap position. #RU going to be in the north while High Woltage in the south. Who is this you think going to work out better for?
Well, given #RU's current positions, it should work out better for High Woltage. They have shots under the middle, and they can easily isolate where those IS-3s are. Question is, can #RU break the containment they've got, and are they going to get punished too much for doing it? Back to Putin getting shot once. Sorry, twice. Three times.
807 points of damage going in there. He does get away with his life, just barely. 4 shots going out there, and they have turned to Abrasive now in his team for lightweight. Looks like some of those guys are stuck now on the center road. Who's going to win the battle back and forth? Volleys coming up from both sides, red and blue alike. Lines firing across the map. Eclipse, Valera, and Young Money starting to kind of hang up there. Game is rigged. Taking a shot. Was that from Oxmathis?
Oh, snap.
Blue Boy.
Oxmathis followed by Blue Boys to clean up. Yes, that was by Oxmathis. The hang time on that shot was something you see in the NBA. Here's another one.
Let's see. There it is.
Boom.
He connects it again. 129 points onto Abrasive there. No one is safe on that center road from Oxmathis.
It's like a 2-second lead.
When he is on the artillery. Let's see how much more he can do. Another shot going in.
It's over 2 seconds every time he fires. It's in the air.
Man, and the more this happens, #RU is going to go lower and lower, getting close to that 2,000 point deficit we've actually been seeing as a very common theme as well of this matchup tonight, ladies and gentlemen. High Woltage always with a huge health lead. Abrasive taking more and more shots, and if he can't keep moving, Oxmathis is going to be able to go through to Killzor, getting a nice 334 points, 596 into that T-54. Let's see if Oxmathis can finish it up. Oh, just so close. 16 health, heavy 20 though. Gonna go in and clean that one up. 5 tanks remain for the side of #RU against the full 7 of High Woltage. Now 2 minutes into the battle. We being, I'm not even playing, #RU being on defense. Obviously, High Woltage are the ones to make the response. They have to make the move, and it looks like this is the move they're gonna make. Anfield pushing in with Wall Hacks and Ampro, while Heavy 20 and Blue Boys captain sort of sandwich here. Eclipse, Young Money, and Valera and their IS-3s. They are in a lot of trouble here. Coming in, here comes the damage. Eclipse taking 422 points of damage here. Young Money, Cash Money gonna be the focus. He is one more shot away from going down. Anfield trying to take some damage. 863, a beautiful shot there coming out from Valera and Eclipse. Double tapping that IS-3, but now that they are on reload, High Wolves are gonna respond. More damage coming out the side. Ampro gonna pick up Valera. Looks like it's gonna be Young Money, Cash Money who is next. It just has to be Blue Boys captain once he is on reload to take that shot. A shot coming out actually from Oxmathis. Look there, Heavy 20 moving in. Finding Eclipse actually is Antpro. Now it's just Young Money, Cash Money finding Anfield, but with just 3 members remain and a minute. The question is actually, can Godzilla mode get away I mean, obviously, High Voltage can put the cap pressure on, which they have been doing. Wallhacks just going to finish up Young Money here, which he will do, leaving Master Putin and Godzilla Mode. Godzilla Mode finding Amp Pro, but Heavy 20 finding Master Putin. They have put pressure on the cap, so it is up to the last remaining member of #RU to respond to this. I mean, David, if he can get some crazy cheeky shots in, he might be able to reset the timer just long enough. Let's see.
It's a vision thing and it's an angles thing. He's going to have to get way too close to get what he needs, and I really don't think he's going to be able to pull it off.
You're right, with 3 members putting on top, bringing the cap down to 6 seconds, and he's taking damage more and more. This should be it. High Voltage taking a very clean, decisive victory against #RU, making it 5-0. There it is, and to Killzor finding Godzilla Mode just for fun at the end. Fantastic move, and that has been the theme. There it was. 4-0 on the first map, and then just cleaning it up in the second one. High Voltage showing a fantastic amount of decisive play there. David, some of the highlights you saw from that last and final matchup.
Anytime I see a Mines fight on the hill, I get super excited about it. So that's always going to be my highlight, no doubt about it. Yep. Go with that one.
All right,
staying with that one.
That's great, and it's a great one to have because it is so fun. It is when you get to see these two tanks, these two teams really getting down to just the nitty gritty of fighting it out, tank on tank, ladies and gentlemen.
I remember the one I was trying to call the memory. That's why I was stalling for it. Refuse and Rival, the crawling back, come back on the first game. That's probably the highlight.
Gotcha. All right, that was I actually forgot about that. On to Runeberg, a fantastic match indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our 4th and final matchup of the night. If you guys missed anything, let's quickly go over what you guys would have missed. Elevate, our first match, beating 07 5-0, followed by Synergy, beating Maple 5-1. Third was Refuse, beating Rival 5-0. And finally, what you guys just saw, High Voltage, beating #RU 5-0. Some quick games, some decisive games, some quick games, quick squared games tonight coming out from there. But we've already talked about the highlight for you. I'd also say that Synergy versus Refuse versus Rival getting so close. Rival almost picking up the victory. Refuse shaking that dust off and coming 5-0 against them. A fantastic amount of games tonight. If you guys missed it, it was Badco's birthday. If you guys haven't put the beast to chat for him, give him the birthday love he deserves. He's your moderator. You know him, you love him. Badco, we all love you here. Fantastic at what you do. Keep up the good work, man. We can't wait to see you guys soon for the finals, hopefully. Also, speaking of seeing you guys soon, stay tuned for next week, which is going to go ahead and end up our Tuesday matches. Noble versus Game Over. Simp versus Lamp. Third is going to be Elevate versus Maple Freedom. And finally, 07 versus Rival. That is going to be Tuesday, July 28th. David, do you have any birthday wishes for Badco?
Happy birthday, Radco. Hope you didn't keep first. Oh, snap.
Ding! The love-hate-love relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everyone here at the WGLNA, that has been David Williams. I'm Christian Toma. And